Welcome to season number 5 of MotoAmerica, where technology and speed are pushed to new limits and the grace of rider and machine are challenged like no other racing series in North America. Where motorcycles are wheel to wheel and riders are elbow to elbow as they navigate the twists and turns to battle for victory. Since 2015, MotoAmerica has visited the most prestigious and challenging racetracks the United States has to offer. Our journey begins here in Braselton, Georgia. As we travel across the country throughout our 10-round season, we will take the helmets off our great athletes to give you a closer look at this incredible sport. I'm Hannah Lopa. Welcome to Road Atlanta and Inside MotoAmerica. There's something special about the start of the race season in the MotoAmerica paddock. My senses are ignited and the sounds fuel my energy. I am so excited to be your guide on this 10-round journey as we travel coast to coast with MotoAmerica to share the stories of not only the races and tracks, but the great athletes that make up the 5 classes. Our journey begins here in Braselton. Opened in 1970, Road Atlanta features a 2.54-mile course situated on 750 acres in Hall County that has been a host to MotoAmerica for all 5 seasons. Next week, we head to Austin, Texas and the Circuit of the Americas featuring a 20-turn counterclockwise circuit that uses the naturally rolling landscape to shape the course that includes an intimidating 133-foot hill at Turn 1. After a 2-week break, MotoAmerica moves to the Virginia International Raceway where, like the state itself, much of racing history has been written since VIR opened in 1957. MotoAmerica continues its historical journey to Road America in the lush parkland of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Opened for racing in 1955, this legendary track is the longest on tour at 4.08 miles. As the summer months get hotter, MotoAmerica heads 30 miles west of Salt Lake City to the east course of the Utah Motorsports Complex. Originally conceived by Utah Jazz founder Larry H. Miller, UMC opened in 2006. After a 4-week break, MotoAmerica returns to one of racing's most iconic venues, the picturesque Laguna Seca. Spanish for dry lagoon, the 2.23-mile track is defined by its signature turn, the downhill plunging corkscrew. From Northern California, we head south to Sonoma Raceway in Central California for the Cycle Gear Championship of Sonoma. Opened in 1968, this 2.5-mile track is loaded with 50 years of racing history. We move back east for the season's last 3 events, starting in Pennsylvania, where MotoAmerica returns to the Pittsburgh International Race Complex for the 3rd straight season. 2 weeks later, MotoAmerica traveled just east to New Jersey Motorsports Park, featuring 2 world-class road courses, one of which aptly named Thunderbolt Raceway after the P-47 Thunderbolt airplane used during World War II. The season for all 5 classes concludes in mid-September in Birmingham for the MotoAmerica Championship of Alabama at the 2.38-mile Barber Motorsports Park. What a year we have ahead of us. But this week is about Road Atlanta, and wow, this is the perfect venue to kick off our season and meet the riders of MotoAmerica.
To be part of MotoAmerica is very exciting right now. It's my first time here in the paddock. Excited to see new faces and get started on this new chapter.
I love all the people out here. They're all nice. They're all fun to hang out with.
I've raced club racing for a really long time, so to be part of like a national series is fun, being able to ride all the different tracks.
I'm looking forward about tomorrow to be part of this big family. I'm very proud about it. You guys are doing a very good job.
I know so many people and everybody just feels like a family now.
I think it's a very professional championship, so the level is so good. So it's one of the best in America.
It's just an honor to be here and race.
When we return, a closer look at MotoAmerica's youth movement, the Liqui Junior Cup. Welcome back to Road Atlanta and inside MotoAmerica. The Liqui Junior Cup class was designed as an entry-level class to MotoAmerica for the next generation of riders, open to anyone ages 14 to 25. Engine configurations include 4-stroke, 1- or 2-cylinder bikes. Dominic Doyle, at 17, is one of 2 South African riders making his debut in the Liqui Junior Cup. Also hailing from South Africa is 14-year-old Samuel Lockoff. And at 14, newcomer Rocco Landers shows endless potential. Also joining the Liqui Junior Cup is 15-year-old Brendan Kettleson from Sacramento, California. Our youngest rider in MotoAmerica this season is 14-year-old Grayson Davidson. Let's go to Greg White and Jason Pridmore with the call.
Working this final lap, the number 97, Rocco Landers. His first visit to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Coming down the hill, he's got one more corner to navigate, and he will take the checkered flag by a crazy margin, number 1 in the air, and there is your race 1 winner. Let's get down to the third member of our broadcast team, Hannah Lopa, who's down in Parc Ferme.
Rocco Landers, it is your MotoAmerica debut, and you are off to a near-perfect start with a pole position and now your first race win. Tell me what gave you the confidence to pull away and win by such a gap.
Well, I mean, when I was able to get into pole position, I saw my times and I was like, my strategy is to try to pull away in the beginning and to make a gap and try to maintain that. But I mean, I'm very happy about this position and hope to move on and do better in the future.
It's really that margin of victory that we're looking at, Jason, that everybody's going to be looking at tonight who isn't Rocco Landers. And maybe Rocco is.
Yeah.
You know, he said he wants to get better each time, so maybe the goal tomorrow is by 17 seconds.
Yeah.
And we're off. Rocco with a good launch. A look over again to see who got one with him.
It's going to be Dallas going off with him, and this is the whole key right now, is to try to get in there with him or get around him. And Dallas just has to let off a little bit. And you can see the pace yeah, he's already tapping the back of his bike. Rocco, if you do what you did yesterday, you won't have to worry about anybody jumping in behind you. But now, Dallas is really important this first lap that he tries to just jump on the back of him as quickly as he can. And I think he's already doing a better job than he did yesterday as Dallas Daniels. He's a lot closer now, as is third place dragon. I didn't quite see who that is. The Dominic in third. Did he get a good start as well? Looks like Dominic Doyle. Great start from our whole front row. So now it's just going to be a matter of, look, here you go, Dallas Daniels already getting to draft past Rocco as they head down into turn 6. So now Rocco's going to at least get to see some other guys around him, and Kevin Almeida is in 5th, as you see there. And it looks like Teague Hobbs is 4th. So onto the back straightaway for the first time. These guys are all a little bit closer. As you see, Rocco was able to get back past Dallas Daniels before they got on the back straightaway, but it looks like Dallas Daniels is in the draft, and he's going to be able to pull out to the left there and goes past him.
Much different than yesterday. This race number 2 is new leader. First time since we've been here in race for Liqui Junior Cup. We have a new race leader, at least heading down into turn 10A. It's going to be Rocco Landers who will take it over for the moment.
Yep, and this is where it's going to be important to just stay there. Dallas needs to just kind of keep his nose a little bit clean. If he can do the draft and repass, these two guys are going to try to break away. Kevin Almeida, though, is in a hurry to get to the front. And we saw him yesterday in that big battle, but you can see the corner speed that Rocco has even through the last corner. He has the ability to get the bike in there and just let go of the brake lever and carry a ton of roll speed through the middle of it. So essentially when he gets on the gas, his RPMs are always going to be a little bit higher than his competitors because of the amount of speed he carries through the middle of the corner.
There's our race leader, Rocco Landers. He's going into turn number 6, which means that he's got 6 more corners to get through to grab his second race win in his second appearance, race action in MotoAmerica. He's going to do the double if he can hold it. These two riders are hoping for something else.
Kind of see there, Almeida has created a little bit of a gap, but I think that Dallas is going to be able to get drafted, and so Kevin's got to start thinking, all right, where am I going to do this last corner? Am I going to do this? He's going to get past right now.
Yeah, this is a good draft.
It's big encouragement for those two guys in second and third to still be able to see the leader just up in front of him. Is Almeida. See, Almeida just can't quite get back in that draft. So that's too big of a gap to make up into turn 10. And Dallas does a great job of protecting his inside line there. And so now Almeida's probably going to have a go as they come into turn 12. He carries a lot of corner speed there. Let's see if he does anything at the end, but we're going to follow this guy home.
Here he comes in his second race in MotoAmerica competition. Oregon's very own Rocco Landers will take the win, and here's the battle for second spot. It'll go to Dallas Daniels, the number 69 rider. A tenth of a second ahead of Kevin Olmedo. And then the battle for fourth is coming down the hill. They're 3 wide. Oh, man. Contact.
Oh, that's between Teague and Sam. They both just ran into each other as they come down the hill. Let's hope that Sam's okay. That's going to allow Dominic Doyle, who did a great job the whole race, to finish fourth. Gage Reese is going to come across fifth, it looks like, ahead of Jiggleoff.
Yeah, he sure does.
And is it Jackson? Jackson Blackman and Toby Kamsuk. So those guys are all going to jump up a couple of spots. Good to see these two guys walking away. Just after I got done saying that this is the class that nothing bad happens.
Let's take a look, Jay.
Yeah, Dominic's on the inside trying to go by, and then Teague just runs into the back of Sam as he's trying to turn in. And this is purely 100% racing excellent. I mean,
yeah, agreed.
All three guys going into that last corner together, and all it takes is for somebody to just check up a little bit. The main thing is they're all okay. And you can see Hobbs is concerned about Sam, but it looks like they're okay.
So at the end of the day, Rocco Landers, 4.9 seconds, the margin of victory for him.
Nice job.
And he is with Hannah.
For the second day in a row, it is your very first weekend in this series. Did you ever think in a million years that this would happen? You'd win back-to-back races like this?
Not really, no. It's a great honor to be able to finish first both races. I didn't expect this. After the race yesterday, I was very happy, and I hope to move on in the future races and do just as well, if not better. Thank you.
So, Jay, I think it's time to take a look at the results here. As we know, obviously, by 4.9 seconds, that our boy Rocco Landers was able to take away that victory with Dallas Daniels, Kevin Olmedo. As we heard from them, Dominic Doyle in fourth, Gage Reese in the fifth spot.
Don't go anywhere. Inside MotoAmerica, we'll be right back.
When it comes to motorcycle racing in the United States, no one has a longer resume of participation and wins than Dunlop Motorcycle Tires. They've been involved in all forms of motorcycle racing here in the U.S. for nearly 35 years.
In excess of 30 years, we've been pretty actively involved in the sport of motorcycle racing in the U.S. And deep down inside, we're all competitors, so we like to compete. Fortunately, we've been very successful since the U.S. road racing scene has gone control. But there's a certain hallmark of a control tire series, so there's consistency that has to be met. You want to make sure things are secure and safe. We've gotten pretty darn good at managing a control tire series, but at the end of the day, there's a vast network of not only club racing going on in America around road racing, but more importantly probably is a track day thing. We've got to work hard to make sure that we're developing tires that are going to work in that environment as well. MotoAmerica gives us a great platform to do that development. We're happy with everything that's been done to date.
With safety of paramount importance for all classes of our riders, MotoAmerica and Dunlop are constantly striving to create the safest tools to protect our athletes. The Stock 1000 class is a feeder for the Superbike class. It gives MotoAmerica riders the necessary laps and experience aboard 1000cc motorcycles. Moving over from the Superbike class, the 55-year-old rider from Napa, California, Roy Holster, joins the Stock 1000 class this season. Moving up from Supersport, Michael Gilbert is also a motorsports journalist when he's not riding at the track. And Miles Thornton is making his Stock 1000 debut in his home state of Georgia. Greg and Jason, take it away.
It's time for the Stock 1000, sitting next to Roger Lee Hayden. The red light is on. When it goes off, we're going to fire him up and get ready to go. Andrew Lee on the inside doesn't get the start. Looks like Michael Gilbert, number 55 on that green machine. Oh, it's
Stefano Mesa took the lead going in turn one. Looks like he got by Michael Gilbert going up the hill.
And Gilbert went way wide. He might have a lot of speed going into there, but into that left, you got to shut it down and get into these switchbacks.
Yeah, this part of the track's really tricky the first lap. You can't see when you're back at the back end of the pack. But it looks like right now Stefano Mesa's trying to pull a little bit of a gap in these guys.
Working their way through this first lap of the 1000s, formerly known as the Super Stock class, now the Stock 1000. Heading down hard on the binders, making that right-hand turn. A couple of the most pivotal turns on the racetrack, especially this one.
Yeah, this corner is really important because you're trying to get the drive on the back straightaway and get that draft to get past the guy in front of you. And I know the Kawasaki's really fast. It's had good trap speed all week, so I think Michael can pull the gap in a little bit on this straightaway.
Michael Gilbert, the green machine, in second. You see them go through that kink heading into 10A and B, the left followed by the right. You make the pass here, you're pretty much going to hold on to it for at least a bit with that right-hander following.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely, because this last part of the track's really tough to pass. This last corner that they're coming down, you have to be pretty precise to make a pass there.
I think Lee was getting a little loose on that outside. You want to use all of that available track. You can't afford it to step off when you're on that last inch. Should be one more lap to go. There's the finish line. The white flag comes out. Well, one lapper in front. That's the 222 of a Segura. Hope he doesn't play a factor as they head up into turn 2. Segura goes, uh-oh, and another rider in front of him.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to play with some lap traffic, and it's always plays in the benefit of the guy in front because you usually spook the guy. So I think Michael's in the catbird seat now. There's only one lapper it looks like they're going to have to deal with till the end of the race.
You say you're one of the only guys I heard that it helps the guy in front. You're the first guy that closes in on that lap for a lot of times. You know, you're right. He doesn't even know you're really there. But they do have blue flags. They're waving them right now, and that was an excellent job by whoever he just passed.
And Andrew here is going to try to do the best he can to get a great drive out of turn 7 on the back straightaway because the best place to pass is going into, 10A after the back straightaway. Michael seems to be cutting it a little bit close, killing his corner speed. So maybe Andrew's going to set himself up to maybe not for 10A, get the
drive for the beer down there at the bottom.
Yeah, to drive up the hill.
Here it is.
The last corner.
Now on the outside. He gave up that inside for the first time today, and that might be the mistake that cost him. Andrew Lee dives to the end. We've got one downhill and a right-hand turn to go. A drag race and a wheelie. Now how hard on the binders can you do? Did Lee push it too far? The answer is no. Driving out hard. Andrew Lee to the checkered. Who's going to take it?
Andrew Lee.
Andrew Lee unofficially with a victory. The differential 13/100ths of a second. All right, let's send it down to Jonathan Green, who has our winner here in the Stock 1000s.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie, and what a win. I mean, he closed that door the whole race until the final lap. Andrew Lee, well done.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I mean, I didn't get a great start, so my game plan this race kind of went out the window from the start, and I saw my lap board starting giving me a bigger gap from behind me, so I decided to just stick behind him for the race. And then I get a better drive coming down the hill on him, so I figured I can outbrake him, and I was just thankful that I actually could. I was like, I didn't know where else to go after that. I was like, I didn't really want to do a dive bomb on the last corner, so I'm just happy that we stayed upright. It was a really clean race, and everyone was really fast.
Inside MotoAmerica, we'll be back with a closer look at the Twins Cup. Welcome back to Road Atlanta and Inside MotoAmerica, where we take a closer look at the athletes from all 5 classes throughout the 10-round season. Allowing middleweight twin-cylinder motorcycles in the spotlight, Twins Cup enables regional and club racers from coast to coast to step up to the MotoAmerica Series and compete on an elite level. Alex Dumas, the 16-year-old rider from Quebec, Canada, who won last year's Liqui Junior Cup Championship, moves up to the Twins Cup class this season. Another rider moving up from the Liqui Junior Cup is Drake Beecham, the 19-year-old rider from Knoxville, Tennessee. Also from Knoxville, Tennessee, Chris Bays. Making his MotoAmerica debut, Robert Ticcolo Jr., the 26-year-old rider from Asbury, New Jersey. Greg and Jason, take it away.
Michael Barnes still out in front. Murray just behind. Will he have problems with lap traffic? The gap, 4.2 seconds between first and second. Only 1.7 now for Parrish closing in on Murray. So the race might be for second. Barnes is checking out. He's on the final lap as he heads up towards 5 in the S's. The lap traffic might affect Dumas and Beecham as well, that 5th-6th battle. The lone Ducati in the field over a 4-second advantage. You look around and you won't see anyone. It has to be the best feeling in the world. A multi-time Formula USA champion, Michael Barnes, the 111 Ducati out of Boca Raton, Florida, represent Quarterly Racing, heading downhill into turn 10, A and B. Stay away from those guys. You're about to put them a lap down. He knows he has plenty of time. That's why he looked in that fast straight, sees if anyone's there. He looks again. Only one more turn in front of him as he heads downhill. It's called turn 12. It's also the final turn, popping a wheelie and taking to victory. Quarterly Racing 111, Michael Barnes out of Florida takes the win. The first MotoAmerica race of 2019 for him. Oh, big wheelie out of Barnes. He might get past.
Out of Barnes. And then he's getting swallowed up pretty quick. So not the start you want from the front row.
No, and he's got somebody inside him. This could get really ugly really quick. Michael Barnes went from first on day one. He's back in 5th or 6th right now.
And it's going to get tight in here. 39 guys going through this first chicane.
5th place for Michael Barnes. I thought he was racing motocross and he forgot to do his hole shot device. I mean, he just straight up in the air.
I actually think he recovered pretty well just to go back to 5th. So Michael Barnes is a guy that's got a lot of experience, so he's probably been in that situation before.
You raced against him a day or two?
I have many a times, and he's a great guy. I love popping in and seeing Barney from time to time.
That's the 111 we're talking about. You see him tightest to that rumble strip on the inside. Great vantage point. He goes from 5th up to 3rd in just a few turns. Sweeping down that back straightaway. We saw how fast he was by himself. Now in traffic, what does he do? He's going way to that right side. He just ran around him.
Yeah,
when I talk about that balance of performance, I think that bike might be faster than the other ones.
Yeah, that bike's definitely fast. He didn't even need the draft.
Oh man!
4 wide into 10A.
Tiger, I mean, he was swapping left and right. He ran it in way too hard.
I didn't think they was all going to make it through there, but they did, and it looks like Michael Barnes is already starting to pull a gap on the first lap, even after the bad start.
Is Michael Barnes the new old Rocco Landers, a kid that was fast earlier today? 4-second advantage now for Barnes over Chris Parrish.
I think he's on cruise control this last lap. He pretty much he has this one in the bag.
Coming into those back markers, the 6:15, Austin Miller just in front of him. Miller in 24th place, so working through almost up inside that top 20.
Looks over his shoulder, making sure he does have that gap, so he doesn't have to force a pass on one of these lappers.
There's the results here for the Twins Cup race. Michael Barnes with a couple of Suzukis just behind him. Chris Parrish, Curtis Murray, Beecham and Madama battling out head-to-head on their Yamahas. Maybe both of them being on Yamahas, they were equally prepared, equally just as fast. Alec Dumas didn't have the best start to his race, finishing in 6th, the Canadian. Able to get by Joe Blasius on the 24, Tiger and Bays. Jonathan Green's down there with our winner, the 111 of Michael Barnes.
Yep, he's loving it. This young man back to back. How about that?
Yeah, I can't say enough about the whole crew, Quarterly Racing crew, and Motocorsa Performance, and Mike Fitzgerald, Thermos Man Suspension. He just hooked me up for this second day, and I think we dropped about a second in time. I was able to just really attack it, where yesterday I was riding pretty tentative and didn't have a lot of feel with the front, but today I had the feel, and I got ate up in turn 1 quite a bit, and man, it was really a lot of traffic down there in turn 1 on the first lap, but I'm just glad we made it through that first lap and we're able to check out after that. This bike's amazing.
More action from Road Atlanta when we come back. Welcome back to Road Atlanta and Inside MotoAmerica. Next week, Inside MotoAmerica comes from Austin in the Lone Star State for the MotoAmerica Championship of Texas at the famed Circuit of the Americas. Only the Superbikes are competing, but there are many stories to be told on and off the track here on Inside MotoAmerica. Check your local listing for airtimes on the NBC Sports Network.
My favorite pre-race meal is probably some kind of meat.
I always like to eat a lot of pasta, and that's about it.
Honestly, I kind of wing it.
Probably some steak, or no, chicken, rice and beans that my mom makes.
My favorite race meal is like steak and potatoes.
I just try and go off of water and a couple liquids with sugar throughout the day, and that's pretty much about it.
Turkey or ham sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Normally I eat white pasta with chicken.
When I get a little nervous before a race, it makes it a little hard to eat sometimes, so I want to try to get something filling that I can get that'll keep me over until after the race, and then typically after the race I'm starving.
My favorite thing to eat before I race is probably pasta, Italian food.
I usually like to eat nothing. I like to have kind of an empty stomach, otherwise I get nauseous out there. I've got a weak stomach. So like usually 6 to 8 small meals throughout the day. That keeps my stomach in order for the races.
When we return, a recap of round 1 for the Supersport class. Welcome back to Road Atlanta and Inside MotoAmerica. The Supersport class is MotoAmerica's middleweight race class featuring the series' rising stars competing aboard production-based motorcycles. Riders between the ages of 16 and 55 are eligible to race. 16-year-old Sean Dylan Kelly makes his MotoAmerica debut in the Supersport 600 class. PJ Jacobsen returns to North America after racing in World Superbike for his MotoAmerica debut. After a few years racing in the Superbike class, Bobby Fong returns to Supersport. Greg and Jason, take it away.
White flag waves on this one. Final lap for Hayden Gillum on the 69 machine out of Philpott, Kentucky on that ridiculous racing motorcycle.
Look at this battle for third, Greg, as they go down into turn 1. Sean Dylan Kelly's got that advantage right the second. Man, I don't remember that bump being as big as it is, Greg, into turn 1. I've seen a lot of riders hitting it in here. How about this guy? Just pure class at the front for Hayden Gillum. Did the job he needed to do.
Stayed clean.
Yep, and he's probably saw +4 or so on his board the last time by, so he doesn't have any stress coming from behind him. Wouldn't be surprised to see him have a little look over as he comes out of turn 7. This is him going down through turn 6 now.
After not a lot of laps yesterday, a blown motor, and just seemed like a disastrous start day 1 of this 2019 MotoAmerica campaign.
Yep.
This team has dug deep and turned this one around in a matter of hours.
Head is under the bubble. He didn't even bother looking around. He knows this board gave him the information he needed to see. And now it's just a matter of getting it down through these last couple corners. It's going to be a big win for him. A good win for his psyche, too, knowing that what he was battling with Bobby there.
He set the tone early, did this rider. He started throwing elbows, and on the first lap told Bobby Fong he is here, and he means business. Final corner for the number 69 rider, Hayden Gillum. He has a look over his shoulder, wheel in the air, and he will take victory in race 1 of the Supersport class.
Great job, Hayden Gillum. You see Bobby Fong is going to come across the second. It's not all bad. He's got his 20 points in the bank, and PJ Jacobsen was making a move.
No.
There was some action happening in the last corner there. PJ is going to get it back on. He's going to end up 6th if he can get the thing rolling. So, yep, he's going to get it 6th. See Jason Aguilar coming up behind him there in 7th. Looked like Xavier Zayat behind them even.
PJ frustrated with himself, and he'll putt across the line in 6th spot, his first MotoAmerica race.
He was obviously making a pretty big move. Hayden Gillum, congratulations. First big win of the season. Had to work hard for that one, though, didn't he?
He certainly did. We're still waiting for riders to come across the line as the leaders lapped up to 16th place. So Zaragoza, Jeremy Simmons, Andrew Bone, all in already checkered flag, but we're still waiting for 9th through 15th. Who is going to get the last point available in this as Hayden Gillum? What a win. He kept the pressure on Bobby Fong. We don't know if it was forcing Bobby into a mistake or if there might have been something wrong with those brakes. Jason and I will head to the pits after we're done today. We still have a lot more racing coming at you. Let's get down to Hannah, who has our race winner.
Thanks, Greg. I am with Hayden Gillum. Hayden, what a race. Getting really dicey there with Bobby Fong at the beginning. What was your strategy on where and how to pass him to keep that lead for the win?
I honestly was just kind of going by the seat of my pants, and you know, he's had really good pace all weekend. Obviously, he qualified half a second faster than everybody else. I knew with us missing the whole day yesterday, pretty much, we didn't have any setup going in this morning, so the bike's a little off right now. It's not feeling the best, but we may do with what we have, and you know, that was such a fun race. I knew coming into the season, if me and Bobby got close on the track, it was going to be a fight. I knew he's a fighter, and I wasn't going to give it to him, that's for sure. I knew if I just kept him behind me as much as I could, if I could get in front of him before the back straight, I had a really good chance. And man, that was such a fun ride. And you know, a couple times he got a little bit of a gap on me, and I tried to stay there. I thought if I could maybe apply a little pressure, maybe the mistakes would happen, and it did. It's the first race, you know, it happens, and you know, tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's Hayden Gillum, Bobby Fong, Sean Dillon, Kelly, your top three. We just heard from them. Then Richie Escalante, Bryce Prince, P.J. Jacobson with that big mistake on that final corner, final lap, able to hold on to 6th spot. Aguilar, Zayat, and Lucas Silva. And we're away. Bobby Fong with a good launch. A really good launch again. Right part of your screen, number 50, Bobby Fong. On that white and blue Suzuki. He's really ripping. Looks
then
like
PJ.
Hayden Gillum trying to go around the outside. He's kind of left in no man's land. He'll get it back up to the top of the hill. P.J. Jacobson, number 99. 69 is Hayden Gillum.
And this is dangerous for Hayden now because he's got somebody in front of him, and Bobby's put that first sector really well together. He's already opened up a tiny bit of a gap here. The Suzuki has shown some pace down the straightaways here as well. And this is, right now, I know PJ for sure is on a bike that he didn't ride yesterday. It's a little bit different, so we're going to see how that reacts. He wasn't having too much trouble in this area yesterday, turn 6, but some of the flatter braking zones, he was having a couple more issues just with some vague feeling. And look at how much he's pulled up onto the back of Bobby Fong as they head down out of turn 7 right now.
A great speed shot. You can see the field streaming through. Now the test for the Yamaha of P.J. Jacobson, the 99, as he tries to find the draft of Bobby Fong and that M4 X-Star Suzuki. And then there's second place.
Sean Dillon Kelly is trying to go by Hayden Gillum as well. Hayden just lets go of the brake lever and gets back in front of him, but that's not what Hayden Gillum wants. He doesn't want to have another bike get in between him and those first two.
First test for Bobby Fong down the hill. The bike snapping sideways. It looks like he's tighty. There's the 69 in third spot. So our first two come across the line. Fong will lead the way. 0.4 of a second over P.J. Jacobson, who's still feeling out that new setup. After day one here at Road Atlanta, Bobby Fong put one in the garbage bin. And now, with a couple corners to go, trying to reward his M4 X-Star Suzuki team with a win for their hard work, their effort. A podium yesterday for Fong. Second place. Can he better it? It's the Achilles heel corner for Fong here at Road Atlanta, but this time he gets through it. And Bobby Fong puts his head down and will take victory in Supersport race number 2. Let's get down to Hannah.
I'm here with our race winner, Bobby Fong. Bobby, PJ really stayed with you for the majority of that race. Do you find it hard to stay focused under that kind of pressure?
No, honestly, it was great to have PJ up there. You know, it was to be expected. I knew he would come during race time. So, but honestly, I had the best bike out there. We rode great. My M4 S-Car Suzuki was by far the best bike out there, and I can't give it up to my team enough. And we definitely deserve this win. They deserve this win. So I can't wait to do it in Virginia in a few weeks' time.
Congratulations. Thank you, Bobby.
A look at our final results for race number 2 has Bobby Fong, P.J. Jacobson, and Richie Escalante sharing the champagne. Jason Aguilar, Bryce Prince, Sean Dillon Kelly holds on to 6th. Xavier Zayat, Braden Ort, and Ashton Yates.
When we return, it's time for the EBC Brakes Superbike class. Welcome back to Road Atlanta and inside MotoAmerica. Superbike is the premier race class of MotoAmerica. It showcases the top road racers aboard top-of-the-line motorcycles capable of speeds approaching 200 miles per hour. After a season racing in World Superbike, Jake Gagne makes his return to MotoAmerica. And last year's Supersport champion JD Beach makes his Superbike debut. Let's join the action at the starting grid.
Here we go, lights go off. Race number 1, Superbike is underway, and a great launch from your pole sitter.
And how about JD Beach? JD Beach is going to lead into turn 1, it looks like, Greg, with Garrett Gerloff right by him. Jake, looks like Josh Herron's going to slot himself right in. He's going to move himself up into second. JD Beach, straight from his Supersport championship, jumps on this attack. R1 and is leading off the bat, Greg. This is going to be good to see. Josh Herron looks like Garrett Gerloff is sitting third right now. Elias and Schultz round out your top 5 early.
Been a long time since JD Beach has raced in the Superbike class. And I'll tell you what, I can't remember a time when he actually led one, but JD Beach is doing it right now on the Attack Performance Estenson Racing. And here comes Josh Herron under braking on the Yoshimura Factory Suzuki bike. He'll take over the lead for the moment.
And how about Herron's following his bike from last year right off the bat? There was so much discussion between these two riders this year of who's going where, what's going to happen. Is Herron going to Yosh? What's going to happen with JD? JD didn't even look like he was going to be in our series. And now they're both racing against each other right at the front. And JD is deep in the draft of that Yoshimura Suzuki as they head down into turn 10. For the first time, Garrett Gerloff and Tony Elias have closed back up onto the back of these guys. There's a 5-rider breakaway already. Cameron Beaubier has got himself from the 4th row up to 6th. A perfect first lap for him, and now he's got clear track in front of him to try to go after these guys.
Beaubier down into the final corner. He'll get on the gas, trying to close the gap. Credited with the first lap lead is going to be Josh Herron. White flag flies, so for Cameron Beaubier, he's got to navigate one more lap. JD Beach in second.
JD's is close, Greg. I mean, we'll see how close it's going to be before they get down to that back straightaway. But Tony's probably going to just try to rip through these S's the best he can. If he salvages 20 points here, I think you're going to see a really happy guy.
JD Beach back on a Superbike, a lot more mature on a Superbike. Remember, when he had his run at the Kawasaki years ago, he started off the year at Daytona on a 600. Eric Bostrom was actually the pilot for Attack on the Kawasaki. Eric Bostrom decided after race 1 to retire, and they handed the Superbike to a very young JD Beach.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
With a lot more years under his belt.
A lot more years. He's done such a good job. Both these guys are going to be happy. Tony's going to be elated with second place now if he can somehow go by JD down this back straightaway and hold him off through the last bit. And JD's going to be pretty happy with the podium himself. As you can see, too, they are catching a back marker. Let's see what JD does here. He moves over to the right to try to make Tony go by on the left, which, he's not able to do it, Greg. If JD can get into this last corner, turn 10,
Tony's going
really
for it.
good.
Tony's going for it. He snaps the rear end, though. He's going to have to think better of it, but lap traffic in the way. So JD's in command right now as Cam Beaubier is heading towards the checkered flag. Tony trying to get a drive. Here comes Cam down the hill. It looks clean. He's going to accelerate, head towards start-finish line. From 11th to the win, Cam Beaubier, race number 1, victorious. To the line they come, and it will be Tony Elias.
Oh, man, Tony got him at the line.
Well, that's what our timing and scoring says, but we don't know for the moment. We will double-check and check it for you because we saw that coming across the line. But it could be JD Beach. We'll check this in just a second. They do have transponders on the bikes. That are,
here you go, Greg. Big battle coming up over the top of the hill. Jake Lewis, who started dead last and looked like he had a problem at the start, has now caught the back of Kyle Wyman. He's got by Gagne. Wyman, in his debut on that Ducati, is going to finish, looks like 6th. Yeah, 6th place, Greg. We got a little bit with our timing and scoring right now, but wow.
Amazing. Let's get down to Hannah, who has our race winner. What a performance by Cameron Beaubier.
Our defending champion, Cam, you fought your way from 11th on the grid to the win. There was a lot going on in front of you. Tell us a little bit about what you were seeing out there.
Yeah, that was definitely a pretty wild race. I did not expect to win that, especially after the day we had yesterday. We had a little issue in practice that didn't let us get in the top 9 for Super Pole. and I knew today was going to be pretty tough, but my guys worked really hard over the night and gave me an awesome bike for this morning and the race. Practice went really good this morning, and we only had 25 minutes on the track this morning before the race, well, because I didn't get to do Super Pole. But yeah, my bike was just working so awesome in the race. I slowly started picking a couple of people off there at the beginning, and I saw it was a really big bummer that Garrett crashed in the first corner, because he had some really, really good speed in practice and qualifying. He's been ripping, and all off season too. So I hope he's okay.
Good launch from Garrett Gerloff and Tony Elias.
Look at JD Beach again, Greg. From the second row, JD's trying to lead it into turn 1, and he will, as Tony Elias just jumps in right behind him. Garrett Gerloff's going to be third. Josh Herring gets pushed wide by Skultz as they head up the hill into turn 2 on the opening lap. Looks like Jake Lewis back there in 6th.
So JD Beach, Attack Performance, Estenson Racing, Yamaha, doing quick work, trying to get the break again.
And again, Greg, what changes did they make overnight? We didn't get to see these Superbikes go out this morning because of the weather. The rain had come last night, wet the track. None of these guys got a chance to really go see if any setup changes they wanted to make had worked. So JD might be riding on something obviously a little bit different than yesterday, and we'll be able to really start to tell in certain sectors of the track. It looks like Cameron Beaubier has made quick work of most of the field again, Greg. He's got himself already into 6th place as they head down the back straightaway.
The list of changes, by the way, the list of changes for JD Beach were electronics, fork, and shock.
Yeah, just everything.
Just
everything.
Yeah. So experimental time right now is Tony Elias on the 24. Goes deep into turn number 10.
And same with Josh Herring. He fell out of that bike yesterday. He didn't even get to go out it this morning. This is literally his first flying lap on that bike. So JD Beach going to come across the line and lead as we come out of the last corner. Tony Elias second, Garrett Gerloff in third.
Cameron Beaubier desperate on this final lap to try to reel in, take any time on Tony Elias.
But Matthew's going to go back underneath him.
So that'll foil the plans of Beaubier. So these two now, barring a mistake from Tony Elias, are going to have to scrap it out for second and third and fourth, because JD Beach now on the fender of Beaubier, who just made a bit of a mistake.
Yep. And this is, see, if you have a plan and you're trying to have your plan work, when you start catching those back markers and things, it becomes hard. And the back marker definitely had a big play in what happened in this race.
And that's where Tony
separated
was smart.
this field up. Yep.
Tony saw those back markers coming, and he just put the hammer down. And JD Beach, does he have anything left underneath him to even make a bid for third spot? Onto the back straightaway they go. Privateer Yamaha versus Factory Yamaha Superbike in the EBC Superbike class. The final lap of this race, Tony Elias looks like he has this one in hand. No one near him to get a draft. And Cameron Beaubier, he's gonna make this move. He's got to.
He's gotta have a go.
Skultz tries to go to the inside and pinch it off. Nope. Skultz holding on the brakes.
Solid effort there from Matthew as they got down into that turn 10, 10-8. Now he's got to block the inside here. Even if he blocks the inside like he's doing, Greg, see him move over to the right? He just gave Cameron no options of where to go. Tremendous ride by Matthew Skultz.
Coming across the line, it's going to be Tony Elias with his first win of 2019. In second spot, Matthew Skultz on the Westby Racing Yamaha, just ahead of factory star Cameron Beaubier.
Yeah, great job there. You can see Tony, he just had a little baby boy.
He
so
sure
that's
did.
Probably going to be towards him.
That means another month of diapers.
Yeah, that's going to be first win as a dad is what that is. So tremendous effort from Tony.
In a week's time, Inside MotoAmerica is in Austin for the 5th consecutive season of the MotoAmerica Championship of Texas at Circuit of the Americas. Known as COTA, this 3.41-mile road course is open only to Superbikes. Check your local listing for airtimes on the NBC Sports Network. If week 1 was any indicator, we are in for an amazing 10-week ride. I'm Hannah Lopa, and for the rest of our Inside MotoAmerica team, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next week in Austin, Texas.